This is Mongolia, the 18th largest country in the world, where almost 99.7% of the land is uninhabited. The entire population lives within this small, white highlighted area, making Mongolia one of the most sparsely populated countries on Earth. However, the most interesting fact is that Mongolia wasn't always this empty. In the 18th century, Mongolia had a population of around 1 million, but then a single event wiped out 800,000 people almost instantly. Mongolia's unusual population pattern is shaped by two major factors: its geography and a pivotal moment in history. In today's video, we'll uncover the fascinating and little-known story of Mongolia, a history that only few people have ever heard. Before we dive deeper into the video, I have a small request. If you enjoy my content, please consider subscribing to my channel. I put in a lot of effort to create these videos, but many of them don't get the reach they deserve. Your support would mean the world to me. Let's start with Mongolia's geography. Mongolia is the second largest landlocked country in the world. It is bordered by Russia to the north and China to the south. The nearest sea to Mongolia is the Yellow Sea, which is about 700 kilometers away, and this is why monsoon winds from the Indian and Pacific Oceans rarely reach Mongolia. As a result of this, the entire southern region of Mongolia is covered by deserts, including the Gobi Desert, the largest in Asia and the fifth largest in the world. This desert holds a lot of mysteries. Mongolia also experiences extreme weather conditions, with winter temperatures dropping as low as -38 degrees Celsius and summer temperatures soaring up to 42 degrees Celsius. Interestingly, the Gobi Desert served as the strategic center of the Mongol Empire. Every military campaign led by Genghis Khan began from this very desert. Its harsh conditions forged Mongol warriors into some of the toughest and most feared fighters in history. There is also a popular myth that Genghis Khan is buried somewhere in the Gobi Desert. One of the main reasons for the extreme dryness in Mongolia's southern region is its geography, as towering mountain ranges surround the country on all sides. To the south, the Himalayas and the Kunlun Mountains block rain-bearing winds from reaching Mongolia. Similarly, in the west, the Altai Mountains prevent clouds from bringing moisture from that direction. As a result, the rain falls over these high mountains, and only dry, cold air reaches Mongolia's western and southern regions. This is why these areas have remained barren and largely uninhabitable throughout history. Now let's turn to the northern region. This area is home to three major mountain ranges. The Kovsgol mountain range. Located just below it is the Kungai mountain range, and finally the Khenti mountain range to the east. Together, these three mountain ranges form a sort of natural triangle which block the dry and cold winds coming from the western, southern and northern sides. As a result, while temperatures in most of Mongolia can plummet to -40 degrees Celsius, within this protected region they only drop to around -2 degrees Celsius. And this is why Mongolia's capital Ulaanbaatar is also situated within this triangle. This harsh climate makes this small region the only part of Mongolia suitable for agriculture, yet it covers just 0.4% of the country's total land area. Similarly, this triangular region receives the highest rainfall in Mongolia, though it's only about 350 millimeters. Despite the low rainfall, you'll notice lush green areas in the northern part of the map. This raises an interesting question. How does such little rainfall sustain so much greenery? Once again, the answer lies in the role of these three mountain ranges. You might have studied the concept of soil erosion from mountains in your geography class. So basically, when it rains, minerals from the mountains wash down with the rainwater, enriching the valleys below and making their soil highly fertile. The same process happens with these three mountain ranges, which is why this region stands out as lush and green. Now, so far we've seen how Mongolia's geography has left 99.7% of its land uninhabited, with nearly the entire population concentrated in just 0.3% of the country. However, another reason Mongolia is so sparsely populated is that its population has always been relatively small. At the start of this video, I mentioned that Mongolia had a population of 1 million in the 18th century, but then almost overnight, 800,000 people, almost 80% of the population, were wiped out, leaving only 200,000 behind. Since that moment, Mongolia has never regained the population growth rate it once had. So what exactly happened in the 18th century? This story begins in the year 1200, when Mongolia looked very different, and it was ruled by Genghis Khan. At its peak, his empire stretched from the Pacific Ocean to the Caspian Sea and from Russia down to Tibet. However, after Genghis Khan's death, the Mongol Empire fragmented into smaller states. After years of war and bloodshed, the Mongols were exhausted and began searching for peace. Around this time, Buddhism, which had spread from India, made its way to Central Asia. Many Mongol rulers embraced the religion, and over the centuries it became deeply ingrained in their society. Then, in 1636, the Qing dynasty dynasty emerged in Manchuria, a northeastern province of China. The Qing despised the Mongols because, for years, the Mongols had ruled over them and seized their land. Within just 50 years, the Qing dynasty expanded its control over northern China and southern Mongolia, eventually reaching the borders of the Zhonghua dynasty. However, the Zhonghas were unprepared for war. After centuries of following Buddhist teachings, they had lost their warrior edge. Between 1755 and 1757, the Qing dynasty launched a brutal military campaign against them, ultimately crushing the Zhonghua dynasty and massacring 800,000 people. This tragedy is still remembered today as the Zhonghua genocide. After this, Mongolia remained under Qing rule and later fell under Soviet influence. However, its population growth never fully rebounded. One major factor was the loss of 800,000 people, and the other surprising reason was the influence of Buddhism. The most significant impact of Buddhism on Mongolian society was that 1 in every 3 men became a monk, dedicating his life to religion and never marrying. Later, the Soviet Union implemented various policies to boost the birth rate, and to some extent they succeeded. Married couples were offered financial incentives and, in some cases, even homes. As a result, Mongolia's birth rate steadily rose after World War II. However, the demographic losses of the 18th century left wounds that have never fully healed to this day. Buddhism remains the dominant religion in Mongolia today, and many men still choose not to marry, which continues to hinder the country's population growth. So in today's video, we explored how Mongolia's harsh geography and history have shaped its unique population pattern. If you're interested in more geography-related content, we have created a dedicated playlist on our channel where you can watch all similar videos in one go. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video with another interesting topic. Take care.